If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I could probably end the list right there, but I'm going to continue. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Speaking from personal experience, creating a podcast felt so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, but using Anchor was a no-brainer. Their website and app is user-friendly. You're able to navigate through it easily. It's pretty cool, guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. A one-stop shop. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello, hi, hey, I am your girl, Jakara N. Holman, your neighborhood homegirl, community activator, and captain, or whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That was lame, sorry. So today I am super excited because I get to bring on my friend, another model, actress, someone that has taken the field of acting and scene and plays, theater, commercials, everything by storm. She was actually at like the height of her career when she chose to leave Minnesota and step out on faith and take California by its horns. That is Ayana Taylor. Many Minnesota folks know exactly who I'm talking about because they have worked with her. They have walked with her. Ooh, she has a mean stride. Hey!
There it is. Hi.
So happy to have you here. I think we actually met at Pump Fashion Show, right?
Oh my God, was it Pump Fashion? I think so. I think it was that last photo or modeling gig. It was like in the winter time, like February, or was it April?
April 28th.
See, look, you got the date down. Look at you.
Only because I had to do a thing in order to make it work.
Yeah, so I think that's where we met. And I'm not even gonna lie, Dakar, I was so intimidated when I saw you because you had this fierceness about you. You were just so like, I don't know, the way you're modeling. Yes, you were. I was just like, oh my God, she's amazing. And I had mad respect for you. And, come to find you're just so sweet and so gentle and just beautiful in and out. But at first I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, she is Sasha Fierce,
Really? That is so funny.
I didn't even tell you that. I've never told you that before. When I first met you, I was like, ooh, she a baddie. Let me not cross her.
That is so funny you say that. I looked at you and I was like, wow, she is such a firecracker. Ready, so ambitious and ready to take on any and every opportunity. She was like, oh girl, you don't want to walk? That's okay. You want me to walk for you? Because I can walk for you.
I was. And that's the thing too. I felt like so thankful for that fashion opportunity and to get out there and put myself out there. But I felt like modeling has always been like a hustle for me because of my height. I'm 5 foot, so I'm a little on the shorter side. So I feel like people aren't quick to want to style me or put me in their clothes because it's like, is it going to look as natural as it would be a taller person? So any opportunity I could to put on their clothes and show them I look good in it and I can strut it, I was there, girl. I was like, yes, I'll try this on. Let me just try it on. Let me show you what I can do. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
She talks about me, but her walk, once you see Ayana Taylor walk, or should I say Ayana D. Taylor?
Yeah, whatever you want, that's fine.
Once you see her walk, you're not looking at a short girl. You're not looking at a black girl. You're not looking at anything beyond like slave.
Thank you.
That walk is fabulous. It is it is chic. It is like everything.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because that's I feel like it's just like the confidence that I carry with my strut. It's just that's what you're really seeing. That's what you're buying into. And so who cares how tall you are? Who cares what you look like? If you look good and you're confident and you can own the stage while you're on it, I think you have the rights to be there.
Yes. I'm so happy you talked about confidence. So we have this whole like agenda and script of questions. But this is organic. So
Yeah.
let's talk about confidence, because you just brought that up and you said
Yeah.
what we see is your confidence.
Mhm.
But you and I, as girlfriends, during the models meet, I had a model meet at my home with Ayana, with Malaya, with Tony, and it was so beautiful because we want to cultivate support and lift one another up when the industry is so cutthroat and evil, and nasty and catty, and we want to show that we don't have to be catty and nasty towards each other. We can build and grow together. What I was getting at is we've had conversations and you have disclosed to me that this confidence, you're looking at me like, what you about to
What you about to drop? What you about to drop? What you about to drop that I said in confidence to you? What are you about to drop?
not like that. But I'm just saying, like, I understand that confidence is something that like you had to grow into. Like it's not just something that like you just was like, got it.
Arrived.
Yeah, talk about like growing into this confidence, Ayana.
Yeah, it really does boil down to I feel like there's like a series of, for whatever reason, as we grow up, there's been experiences that I'm sure that we probably have similar, where, you know, the way we look, the way we present ourselves, you know, we are not necessarily accepted or included. And so we do a lot. We do several things. We mask ourselves. We try to fit into a mold. We try to assimilate to be accepted and seen and appreciated. And by that same token, I feel like you lose part of yourself. The more you try to adapt and fit in with people, you're losing what makes you really you. And I feel like I spent a large portion of my life just trying to adapt, just trying to be likable, just trying to be seen, just trying to be appreciated, and not really at first appreciating myself, you know, appreciating the values and everything that I bring to a conversation, that I bring to an organization that I'm participating in, everything that I bring to it, instead of trying to mold and be a part of that organization. It almost like takes away from who I am. So I just feel like I said, that was the majority of my life. And I think the breaking point for me simply would be just my love and desire. And like I said, it was definitely, my confidence was definitely growing the more I did a lot of modeling work, because you had to put yourself out there. You had to show, like, this is what I have. This is all that I have, and all that I have is enough. So I felt like getting into the industry of modeling and acting, where you have to basically put yourself out there. Like, you are full. Like, I heard a teacher say one time, he was like, this industry, acting and modeling, is the only industry where people can tell you no because of what you look like. I mean, you go to any other industry, you know, that's you can't say that because you'll get sued, you'll get this and that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that protects people from being, you know, if you have a disability, there's a lot of rules in place that stop you from being judged based off the way you are, you know. And in this industry, you're basically exposed, and to just to put it lightly, you're naked. You're putting all yourself out there. And it's a very vulnerable thing to do. And the more vulnerable that I've gotten, just growing into my skin and who I am, the more value and beauty that I've seen within myself that I want to share with others. And it's an empowering feeling when you start to have that transition. And like I said, I had to kind of be pushed in this way. Like, you know, I had to essentially come out of the closet of who I am. You know, I couldn't hide who Ayana was and is. And it's a scary feeling. And I encourage anyone who wants to grow confidence, do something you've never done before. Put yourself in uncomfortable waters and figure out, you know, what makes you tick, what lights you up inside, what would you do if you knew you couldn't give up, or you knew you knew you could have it. You guaranteed day one you would have it. What would that look like? And pursue it, because there's going to be a lot of pitfalls. There's going to be a lot of struggle, and, you know, a lot of inward of, you know, am I good enough? Can I do this? But I feel like if you push and don't give up, you'll start to find yourself. You'll start to find out what you love and what makes you happy. And then from there, you exude that, and you allow people who are still behind you to come forward and have that confidence and I don't know, just belief in themselves as well. So yeah, and that was very long-winded. I apologize, but
you're just so full of like love and you're just so full of life. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. And like I said, it all really starts within. Like I feel like it's easy to put on a show and act like everything's okay, and I'm always happy because I'm not. But at the same time, it's just like what you have to give. You know the light that you can share and help other people. And at the end of the day, it has to begin with myself. Like right now, I have like a personal statement. I have affirmations that I read to myself every day, just to in those moments where I'm feeling weak, where I'm feeling discouraged. I read those, and it validates in myself who I am, what I want to be, where I'm going. So that way I can keep striving and leading people along the way.
Thank you so much for all that you have given to me. The biggest thing that I learned from you is to have not just an accountability partner, but a success partner. And I was like, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
So Ayana went live one day, and she had her success partner on live on Instagram, and you were talking about success partners. And I think I was driving, and I was like, what is this? I just saw my friend on live and just tuned in. But then I got into the conversation, and I was like, oh, a success partner, that's different. This is one that's actually going to hold me accountable, but then ask also those challenging questions about, goal setting and successes, like how to this success. And it's amazing. Can you define like what that means to you?
Yeah, having a success partner.
Yes.
I feel like having a success partner, it really comes down to the simple point is, who do you trust enough to put your dreams and hopes and confide in them with that? Because you're going to have someone, you want to have someone that's reliable. You want to have someone who's consistent, who's always going to be there for you in the good and in the bad, and not just your yes person. You can't always have a, yeah, girl, do it. Yeah, girl, do it. It's like, no. Like, well, what are you going with this? Like, where do you see yourself if you were to go invest your time doing this? Like, it really holds your feet to the fire essentially, and not let you just, oh, it's okay, you didn't get back to me on that. That's fine. No, you said you were going to get this to me at 3 p.m. Like, if this is, you have to, how you act now is how you're going to act in the real world. So you can't just all of a sudden, I'm going to be on time and professional and get this in at 3 p.m. if you can't be consistent with your success partner. So like, it's a lot of accountability, but it's also kind of like, very career oriented. So we're not just trying to instill discipline in each other. We're looking at the long term. We're looking like, okay, where do you see yourself going with this? Can you track this? How can we make this better? And that's stuff that we'll always do. It's just like, we'll throw out an idea, and then they're like, I want to get your feedback and opinion on that. And we'll follow up with each other and be like, I like that. I don't really like this take right here. I mean, I feel like you were kind of doing like, we'll actually look at each other's scenes that we, record for each other and be like, I feel like you weren't really in the moment when you said this. I don't know. And then they'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I didn't really understand that line. It's just like, okay, so now we need to figure out how to make that deeper. So it's like you're cheerleader, but yet you're cheerleader, your pusher, your coach, your accountability partner, your a strict teacher, get this in now. You said you were going to get this goal in. What happened? So it's really helpful just to have someone who's in your pocket that's always looking for your best interest, simply. Mm-hmm.
So do you think that it is a great benefit, or that it is necessary to have a success partner that is in the same career field as you?
That's a great question, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that you're struggling with or you're going through, if you have someone that's in the same industry, they get it.
Right.
Versus someone who's in a totally different field, y'all may have some similarities and commonalities, but they may be limited in how they can help you in terms of, well, have you thought about looking at this coach, or looking for a strength and, a vocal coach to help you if you're having some tension, or you getting some tension, maybe you need to go to, an Alexander technique class to help you loosen yourself up. So it's like, I feel like actors typically know or actors or buddies who are together who are kind of the same industry, kind of know kind of the same lingo, the same jargon, and they can find loose ends and offer suggestions. But I'm not saying, I mean, like I said, if you have a partner who's also in the acting industry, but also is a filmmaker who may be trying to help you in terms of making your own content, boom, that's golden. You know what I'm saying? So they may not necessarily help you in all the acting, but they see where you want to go in terms of your career, and they can help you in that way. So I wouldn't be too limited about that, because you'd be surprised the value you can get from other people outside of your circle. Can avoid groupthink if that makes sense. Just kind of having the same thoughts, not really stretching. So
I do like the idea though of talking to someone that get it. Like, I can't talk to anyone about the military because, you know,
yeah, I'd be so limited. I'd be like, you got it. Like, I don't even know the first thing. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. But yes, I do believe, that you don't want to limit yourself. You definitely want to have someone that is either like in your ballpark, even maybe a little bit in a higher ballpark, like a mentor that can like have fun, can take you through it, or someone that, you know, that you can trust. You know, some of these life goals and career decisions that you have to make.
Yes, like I said, just making sure it's someone you can really confide in. You know, it's not someone who's just, you know, take, not a lot of give. And then, like I said, making sure they're able to help you grow.
That's good. That's good. Well, you know, I was absolutely sad when you left because, like I said before, you were at like the height of your career. As a matter of fact, when I left Minnesota, she had already established where I'm trying to get to, and that was she was on the side of Metro Transit. These are things
the Metro Transit billboard.
Yes, and then she was on the billboard, and her billboard was by downtown.
Yeah.
Was off of Broadway. Her billboard was also right by the airport, so that means people are leaving. This woman, and I'm like, you sure you want to leave? You sure?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. There was a lot of decision that factored into it, but I don't know. Yeah, I was definitely like, I was with all the agents out there. Agents, like, literally they'll be emailing me for the same opportunity, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I got this already with the first person that came in. You always got to go with the person who emailed you first. But that was a beautiful benefit about being non-exclusive out in Minnesota. Out here, you're totally exclusive when it comes to agency and representation, but out there it's like anybody, you know, can get signed and get work from any agent that's in that area. So yeah, I remember it was like, man, I'm really leaving a good thing, because I know if I'd stayed in Minnesota, I probably would have just kept, you know, auditioning and getting booked for, you know, more of the local work and, you know, statewide work in Minnesota. But part of me was just like, I was ready. I was ready for the next step in my career, which was moving out to Los Angeles and doing more film and TV. Like, that was my goal. And I was so thankful for that Meisner intensive class that I took. Shout out to Rich Remedios. He was amazing. And he kind of set the foundation of my Meisner training, where you're really taking on this scenario or situation as it truthfully, you know, it's coming from a true place. You're building this life for this character. You're really digging down and understanding what this character, who this person is, what their struggle is, what they want to accomplish. It made me realize, this is all the stuff that I see in TV, all this work that I'm doing. This is all the stuff that I'm seeing in films. This is the type of stuff that I want to be doing. And I just knew my best chance. I mean, of course, Atlanta was an option, but I felt like with Los Angeles, it's like, that's the place. That's the place to do it. I mean, Atlanta's up and coming, which was something I was definitely considering, but Los Angeles, if you can make it in Los Angeles, they'll fly you to Atlanta. You know, they'll put you up wherever. But I feel like coming out here, and I was afraid, for sure. I was terrified of leaving my job. I had a well-established job. I was well on my way, you know, successfully up there. But I think what really helped me lead was knowing that sales is always going to be there. That was the career I was in before this. Sales will always be around. And I think I would have huge regrets if I lived out my life not ever knowing what I could have done if I'd taken the chance to move to Los Angeles and live my dream. And I made the choice. I moved out here, and instantly it was just like, it was the right choice. Like, it's like you're scared because you're just like, there's so many uncertainties. But now that I'm out here, I've been out here for 2 years now, 2 years and like 3 months. It's crazy to think. But I'm loving it, and I've played so many roles. I lived so many lives. I've met so many amazing people out here who are creative, and it's just been such a beautiful journey so far. And best is yet to come, I know.
That's amazing. So I guess I'll get over myself.
But yeah, no, I say this all the time when I do interviews. I'm just so thankful for the Minnesota family like you, and just everybody who had been so encouraging and helpful along this journey. Because when I moved to Minnesota, I wasn't trying to be an actor. I got a sales job. I was up there, living out my career, which I thought I was going to be there for the next 50 plus years of my life. Like, no intention, but Minnesota and the beautiful people in the artistic and theatrical realm, like y'all took me in and y'all fed me and gave me the foundation that I need, the instillment and the empowerment to take on Los Angeles and go be great. So I'm forever thankful for my time in Minnesota with all of you.
Do you ever miss it?
Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, I really do. Like, first of all, like I said, like the community, everyone was just so, wonderful and sweet. And also too, like, believe it or not, I do miss the weather. Like, I'm a natural homebody. Okay, I know I can only do snow for so long, but I'm a natural homebody. And so when it was cold and it was snowy, like, I just love turning up the heat and just snuggling up in my blankets, like just being surrounded. That was just so amazing. And I love the seasons. Fall is my favorite by far. Like, fall will forever be my favorite season because of Minnesota. Just seeing the leaves change and just the colors. And it's just so magnificent. Just takes me back. Like, if I could just go back for a weekend where it doesn't snow and I can just drive for days and just watch the leaves, that would be a dream. So, yeah, I do. But eyes on the prize,
Well, look, you're doing your thing there. So don't ever, feel like you made any bad decisions because I keep seeing stuff that you're doing. You've shared some things with me in secrecy, and I'm so happy to be able to like be along the journey with you. I will soon be there as well, so we can continue. And I'm excited to, because I know you've done it for 2 years, so I'm definitely going to be like, show me where to go to take this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You'll definitely jump the line when it comes to failures and pitfalls and choices. And so I'm going to streamline you. So it's make it that much easier. You're going to be 2 years to be where I'm at. You're going to be there in 1, if not 6 months. So
I just want to get past the failures of losing all my money.
Okay.
I've heard so many stories about and seen so many of my friends go to Cali and then, go back home with their tail.
What do you think has been the major thing? So it's just been money, or what else? What has it been specifically?
So, for example, we could talk about, have you heard of Clubhouse?
What do you mean?
Okay, so Clubhouse is this app. So Clubhouse is this app where it's like a social media app, and it's in the phase, so you have to be invited to get in. But this app is so amazing. So you're actually there's these platforms where there's a lot of coaches and mentors that get to share their experiences. They're experts. I listened to Cleo from Holes, the one that played in Holes, and he was giving some really great advice. And there's actors meetups in there. And in this actors meetup group, so many people are have been in Cali for so long, have left everything behind to get to Cali. And then they get there and they were like, Cali swallowed me up. It was ruined my life. I had to go back home. It was expensive. And it felt like, no opportunities was coming because they were constantly going up against the big names, the A-list actors. And so there was not a lot of mainstream work, which is what everyone expects to get in Cali.
Yeah, and I think that's the big misconception, though. I feel like people think, "Oh, I'm moving to Los Angeles. I'm gonna make it big." It's just like making it big may not happen for another 10 years. So what are you gonna do in that meantime? You
Right.
know, how are you gonna sustain yourself? How are you gonna still be creative but still put a roof over your head? Like I said, I can't speak to everyone's experience because I'm only walking my own, but I'm so fortunate to have a support system. My boo thing, my ride or die, Alex, he's been super incredibly supportive of me pursuing this dream, and because it's not you can't just come here and then like start making $1 million, off your work. Like I spent the first year in Los Angeles and I did a whole video about it, but I did a lot of backup work, but I also took on the task of doing a lot of free projects in Los Angeles. And throw that in with your car insurance and bills and gas and groceries. I mean, it's you're definitely not getting a return on investment doing free work and when you gotta put food on the table. So I it's been hard because you can't just expect it to happen overnight. And I feel like a lot of people tend to think, oh, just getting here, it was such a struggle to get here, I'm bound to make it, or I'm bound to, this is owed to me, when it's just like, no, like you're like one in the 4 or 5 million people that moved out here who want the same dream. But you have to, what's going to make you different, what's going to set you apart is your training, is your experience, is your vulnerability. Can you be vulnerable enough to go in those deep places and not clam up? Because that's what we do in real life. But in acting, you had to open your arms out and be ready to get your heart stabbed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that is a true skill that we must continue to be developing as actors. And, just getting on camera and saying, hey, and saying I'm an actor, that doesn't make you an actor. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. And it's going to be a struggle. Like, I'm struggling. Like, I've had so many meltdowns or moments where I was just like, oh, like, I'm not going anywhere. But, it's just like, I have to remember, like, it's not going to happen overnight. And honestly, I don't want it to happen overnight because I want to be one of those actors who's so trained and who's so understanding of the work and the depth that I need to go, that when I make it, I want to stay around. I don't want to be those one-hit wonders. Oh my gosh, she went viral. Oh, here she is. Here today, gone tomorrow. In 3 months, you'll never hear my name again. No, I'm trying to be that one that's staying around. So you have to put in the work. You can't take escape routes. You can't, you can't blame it on, struggles or this or that. It's just like, what's in your control? You got to feed yourself. You got to have a roof over your head. You got to pay for your car insurance. You got to pay these bills. Okay, so this is what I need to focus on to financially. I got to take a job that I don't care for, that, may not even, spark any type of creativity in me whatsoever. But I'm doing this so I can have that time where I can, be creative and be fulfilled. And sometimes, even the job that you hate the most, there's stories and situations that's happened in your life that you can write about. It's like, you won't believe this customer came up to me and said the audacity to be so rude. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write about that, and then write about that, and then make an imaginary scenario and imagine if you could say all you wanted to say, what would you say in that moment? You're just quitting, so you got to use your creativity in all ways, in all spaces, and find that, because LA is going to tell you, you're just like any other person that showed up here. You think you're gonna make it? Okay. So it's just like you had to own your right to be here, because it will eat you up, spit you out, and you're gonna be scarred, like you said they were. You're scarred. Like, I'm scarred, but I'm still here, trying. So yeah.
What were some of these jobs that you had to do?
Well, so one time I was doing Lyft for a bit, and girl, there was this one guy, he was drunk, and we were having a good conversation. It was nighttime, by the way. And we were having conversation. He just fell over. He just literally fell over, like knocked out cold. And I was like, are you okay? Like, I'm like, are you? Oh, okay. So the whole ride, he didn't say anything out. And then at the end, I was like, okay, it's time to go. Like, wake up. He wasn't making up. I was like, oh my God, I just gotta go get in my car for something to happen. And so I had some water. I don't really drink a lot of water when I was driving Lyft, but I sprayed some in his face. he jumped up and he called me the B word, and he was like, I was like, okay, you need to go, buddy. Like, but it's just like, I was terrified in that moment, and he just like got up and he left, and I drove off. I like shut off. I was ready to go home for the night because I was like, that was enough. Anyway, he calls me like 30 minutes later. I can't get inside my building. Are my keys in the back seat? I look in the back. There's a set of keys. I was like, oh my gosh. So it's just like stuff you can't make up. You know what I'm saying? Just I can't even, So I didn't have his address anymore because you know how Lyft, to protect the person who's living there, they like wipe your address clean. So I literally had to like drive around and try to remember where I was driving from. And I got there like an hour later, and I was calling the number that he called me on, didn't answer. I literally sat there for like an hour just calling that number because I was like, I do not want to deal with this. I do not want to drive back here at some other point. Never answered. I ended up driving home, and then like the next morning, he was like, I'll pay you this money if you come back. I was like, okay, I can come back for that amount. Because I was like, you don't lost your keys, boo. You called me. You didn't give me no help to get back to you. But yeah. So like it's situations like that where it's just like, you can't make this up. You can't, it's exhausting. I drove like 7 hours that day. I was tired. That was the last ride. And you just like, it was a struggle, but it's like I said, that's something I'm probably going to write about now. I'm probably going to write a whole story around doing Uber and like a psychopath coming in here and like, falling out drunk, what I'm saying? Like use all those experiences to fuel your craft.
Right.
Yeah. That's one. That's one story.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you are growing. So you're saying I'm not just an actress, but I also want to get into writing. So first of all, how long have you been acting?
How long have I been acting? So I officially started this acting career July of 2016. So that's about 4 years, 4.5 years now. So yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been writing?
So I started writing about a year ago. I took a screenwriting class, because I was like, I really want to start make my own content. Like that's my next level for my YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting content out in 2021. I'm claiming it like it's happening. And so I'm doing that. I took a screenwriting class, and that was just really kind of eye-opening just to the range and like how to draw inspiration from anything, from a picture, from a song, from, watching people, it can spark an inspiration of some sort that can get you moving. So that class really taught me to find inspiration any and everywhere, because it's all around us. You look around and you have conversations with people that might be like, oh my God, like what if this happened? But then instead of this happening, this happened. And then it takes you on this adventure. And so I haven't written as much as I want to during COVID, but I wrote kind of like a web series of like a quarantine like web series. I have like 5 episodes that I've written. And so I'm probably going to film that if I can over the holiday. It's me and Alex and just like being in quarantine. And so just kind of like spinning off of real life experiences tied into fantasy. And so, like I said, that's my next chapter of getting content out there, and just whether it's good or bad, it's irrelevant, putting your work out there and letting people see it. And it's very fulfilling. And I had this friend, she told me, and I'll never forget it, but she was like, get your ugly babies out. And I know that's so mean to say, get your ugly babies out, but it's just like with every project, it's not always going to be pretty. You're going to fail. You're going to bust your butt, you're going to fall, but it's just like you're learning, you're growing. So you got to get those ugly babies out there. They're your babies, so they're precious, but they ain't pretty. So that's kind of the motto or the motto for this scenario. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that you are creating, because I think that's something that I'm growing to learn, that, no one's going to give me anything. And just like Tyler Perry, just like Issa Rae, everyone like idolized Tyler Perry, Issa Rae, Kevin Hart, Haddish. But what people have to understand is that they started from very, very, very humble beginnings.
Absolutely.
And Issa Rae got her Ugly Babies doll. She started with the Girl series.
Mm-hmm.
And she got Insecure, but Insecure is nothing like Awkward Girl,
No.
so she start somewhere. And I actually had to with someone, but that's really great. And with that, we have to create like our own platform to hire ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you have to see it before those sponsorships come, before these huge TV shows and networks, come gunning for you. You have to see it for yourself first. And sometimes all they need is to see your capabilities. And that's a simple thing. We all have iPhones, or we all have phones. We all have technology. We have, these platforms right now. I'm talking to you virtually from thousands of miles away. We can create stuff. So it's possible. But it's just showing, not just telling them I'm an actor, but really showing them. Because I feel like that speaks more volumes than anything. You can talk and have a pretty resume, but what have you done lately? What are you reading? What's tugging at your heartstrings right now? So yeah, put that into action. And I'm not saying this to encourage everyone and be like, do this, because I need to do this for myself. So this is like, I'm not the all wise and knowing this is what you need to be doing. No, I'm talking to myself right now. Like, get off your butt, get to that laptop, start typing, start writing your stuff, and make it happen, because no one's going to do it. No one's going to push you. That stuff's just going to sit right there in your laptop if you don't push yourself to do it.
Right. That's really good. And it's true.
Thanks. I hope so. I mean, I speak for me. I don't know if everyone else experiences.
Right. It's your truth. That's what I should say. That is your truth.
Yeah.
So would you say, as an actress, would you say that acting is a skill that you either have or you don't?
I think I think when it comes to skills can always be sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can be born with a very strong sense of sensitivities to certain, life experiences. Like, I know some people are definitely more sensitive towards, love and loss, and you can be born with such tender sensitivities, or and I think that's beautiful in itself, because I feel like the world is so cold and so hard, and so it's always doing its best to like mold you into this polite, respectable, don't say the wrong thing, you always want to move up in society. You have to be that likable person and you can't show weakness. But to answer your question in a nutshell, I think anybody can act if you put in the determination, the training, and having that self-worth. Because I think if you don't believe that you deserve to be where you are, I don't know. I take that back, because I think imposter syndrome is real. Like, it feels like some stuff, sometimes you don't deserve the thing that you have, or like, oh, they think they're going to see that I'm a phony or something like that. So I do think imposter syndrome is real, but I just say, take a chance on yourself.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, if you want to act and you've always wanted to act, and no one around you has acted, no one in your circle would encourage you or say, yeah, do acting, because they don't even have the first inkling of what that even looks like, I say take a chance on yourself. Because, I mean, what do you have to lose? You don't have to move to Los Angeles and start your whole life over. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. If you want to act, start where you are. Figure out what you can get involved in. How can I get better? Because it's just like any industry. People think, oh, I want to be an actor and overnight I'm going to be a success. I'm going to be working along Brad Pitt and Denzel Washington. No, like, it's just like being a dentist or a doctor or a chemist. You have to go to school. You have to train. You have to get a sense of awareness what you lack, because people come in, I can be an actor, anybody can do it. I see those actors on TV, they look so natural, anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not as easy as it looks. The goal is to make you think this is effortless. That's the training, that's the hard work that was put into their work to make it look like that. So it's like, that's years and years and years of breaking down that self-consciousness, that seeing people watching you work, being outside of yourself instead of just really in the moment. That takes years, but you have to remember, like, anything worth having is worth working hard for. And I just think, like, in the day, if you want to act, think about the real reasons why you want to act. Because if they're shallow, or a little bit of vanity in there, or you just want the money and the fame, there's millions of actors pursuing this career. Your odds are very low of actually making that achievement. Not to be dark, but I had to be true for myself. I may not make it. I might be out here in Los Angeles for 30 plus years and never ever get my breaking moment. But you have to remember why you do it. Why do I do it?
So, well, I have to get there and to play Michael B. Jordan's love interest when I get
there. Okay, claim it, girl. Speak it. And that's the thing, like, what does that look like? What have you done to try to get yourself closer to that vision? Well, how are you going to get yourself there?
Yeah.
I'm asking for real.
I pray for it every day, every night.
Okay, so what actions, what are you doing physically to show and get yourself closer to that dream?
I'm praying.
Okay, that is an action. I agree. But in terms of research and looking into roles and opportunities, well, what are you doing today that you're going to be grateful for tomorrow? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by action, actual action. It's like, okay, these are the type of love interests he has. Okay, can I play this? Can I play a damsel in distress and I need him to save me? Can I play the independent? You don't F with me today because I'm not the one. And he has to show his manship and try to mold you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what roles is he playing or he's playing alongside that you can really do? And then make a scene, put a little reel together of all the roles that you can play where you're telling Michael B. Jordan, I'm the one. And you gonna mess up if you try to go to this little girl and realize what you missed out on. So boom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are the tangible things that you can be doing to get yourself closer to that? So yeah.
Look at you, just always.
I got you, girl. But what is she actually doing now?
I'm working. Look at you, just always full of gems. And like I said, that real authentic pushback. Like, girl, now you know. Ready when you ready, but are you really ready?
Are you ready? If he came today in front of you, y'all doing a scene together, would you be able to stay with him? And all the vulnerability and openness that you need to play along Michael B. Jordan. That you gotta have the cool, you gotta be like a duck, underneath you're swimming, but on top you just cool, keeping it together.
Right.
And that's a skill that you have to develop. And that was the thing. When I first moved out to Los Angeles, I was ready to go. I thought, I'm ready to just, ready for stardom, you know what I'm saying? And my manager, she got me this Amazon limited series. And I can say it now because I didn't end up getting it, but it was called The Underground Railroad. Director was Barry Jenkins. Executive producer was Brad Pitt. I was like, this is it. My life is about to begin. I'm at the stardom. I can see the lights. But despite that, I had to strip all that away. I had to put in the work. So it's I had to, make strong choices. I had to get off book. I went to an actual coach and they gave me a private, just kind of helping me. And I went in there and I gave my all, And at the end of the day, I didn't get it because, I don't know if that's the thing about auditioning. You'll never know why you didn't get a role. You only hear if you got it. But that lead role went to another well-established TV actor. So, me coming in as a newbie, I look back and I was like, I mean, when I first didn't get it, I was like, oh, she's already a star. That's why I didn't get it. But looking back now, I'm like, dude, like all the training and stuff that I'd done up these past 2.5 years, I'm like, I need to be so much deeper. I need to be so connected. Like I need to be that much more sensitized, to the scenario that I was auditioning for to really bring the truth to it, truer than real life. And I just was not that. And so when I look back on that experience, just like I see where I was and I see where I'm at now. And I'm telling you, if that opportunity came to me right now, I definitely felt like I would have had a stronger chance, or at least a callback, for a role that big. Because, yeah, I was not emotionally, artistically full and connected to that moment. Like I was playing a runaway slave, and you gotta believe you had to really live that. To be coming into the room, confessing to your mother for the first time you see her, she abandoned you trying to go to the North Star. How dare you leave me? How dare you leave me here while you tried to go freedom? The betrayal. I had to feel that, really.
Girl, I feel it right now from you. You are good. I was like, wait.
Yeah, it's just like it had to be there. And it wasn't there. I'm telling you, where I'm at now, it was not there when I walked in that room. So it's like, I know this is a journey. And I know if anyone wants to embark on this beautiful, stressful, crazy pursuit of being an actor, you can have it, but it does not come easy, and it will not just be put in your hand, because if it is put in your hand, it's probably going to be taken away just as quickly because you don't put the work in. If you don't put that work in, it's not going to be. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
So you wasn't ready then, but you can be so much more ready now, right?
Yeah. I think I say too. 2 years from now, how much more ready am I going to be for that role? So I see acting as a mastery. It's a craft. You can never, ever be there. Like you can never, ever be full. Like I hear about, A-list actors and celebrities and people who still train, who still go to classes, who are still honing the craft, because it's not like, oh, I made it now, I don't got to do nothing. No, if anything, you got to work that much harder to keep proving that you deserve to be that number one on the list. It doesn't stop. So it's like, if you think you've arrived when your acting career, that's the moment where, you can basically pack it up, because it's not this, I've achieved it, so therefore I'm done. Yeah.
I've read
for the long haul, no matter what success or not success you get, because at the end of the day, you have to find the joy in all of it. Got to find your reason why. Like, why am I still doing this despite losing my car, losing my job, losing my living, my livelihood? I done broke up with my boyfriend. I got in a car accident. All the things that could happen to you. It's like, how bad do you want this? And despite all of that, I'm still going to go for it. I'm still going to pursue it.
Yeah, that's true.
That answer is different for every person. It doesn't have to be yes or no. It can be like, maybe I'll come back to it in a year. Maybe I'll take some time off. But the scary part of taking time off is, a year goes by, and then 3 years goes by, and then 10 years go by, and then you got a whole family, and the whole. It's just like it can easily slip away from you if it's not anchored in.
Right. So you're not taking any time off anytime soon, right?
No, ma'am. I don't have any plans. No. I've had 2020 has been a year where I'm just like, this ain't it. But yeah, no, like I'm anchored down. Yeah, and I'm definitely not taking any breaks anytime soon. No.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
True. And well, speaking of 2020, COVID, I guess, definitely gave all of us a break.
It did. It forced us. Yeah. We had no option. Yeah.
Yeah. So how has COVID affected the industry in Cali, as well as like your, career?
Yeah. Well, when it first broke out, I was working on 2 plays. We had just did opening night. I'd been in 2 plays. I was training. I was basically wearing myself thin, to be honest. So when the whole world shut down, like I was I was actually really grateful. I was like, woo, I get to breathe, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I was running all day, every day. And then being in two plays too, that takes so much time and commitment to practice and rehearse, to train, to do all the work that you need to do to get yourself emotionally available and open in those moments where you're on stage and not be self-conscious. So the world was, I think that initial break was great for me. I was grateful for it. The industry, everything, there was stuff that was still going that people were like, asking me to shoot for. And I was like, no, sorry. Like I was the one, I was like, no, I don't know what this is. This disease, like, not that I wasn't taking it as seriously, but we were doing so much work for these players. I was like, we're going to make this play work. We're going to put this up, you know what I'm saying? At least once. But then when everything shut down, I was like, okay, I really need to take this seriously. Like I need to seriously like stay in and not like, this is a true pandemic. This isn't playing around. People are dying, like falling out, dying. So yeah, the world shut down and there was some stuff, but I really wasn't entertaining anything until at least half a year. So 5, 4, 6 months, did I only start considering that. So I had that crash of like, thank you, I needed that break. And then I had that slump of like, man, should I even be acting, bro? Like, maybe I should just be a housewife and just be just cook and clean and, and make sure the house stays in order. I literally felt like I was like, what am I doing? But then I got out of it. Huh?
How long did that feeling last?
That slump probably was about a week and a half, maybe. A week and a half of just like, man, what is this? Why am I even out here? Like, I'm working so hard. I don't get any return. And that's literally what Los Angeles can be or is sometimes. And then I started exercising. I started getting this routine where I was like, okay, I'm gonna exercise at least once a day. And that sense of routine kind of put me back into some type of life. And then after a while, that exercise became everything. I looked forward to exercising because it was just like, that was the thing that kind of kept me going. And also I was looking better too. I was like, ooh, losing some weight. I'm getting toned. Like, it kind of does something to your psyche when you exercise, you feel good inwardly and outwardly. And then after my birthday, I got into voiceover. And that's where I really secured my success partner. And I started, working with her every day, kind of writing down goals and doing things. And one of my first goals was to do voiceover work because I had never done voiceover. And I always wanted to do it, but I never had the time or energy to do so. And so with the world shut down, I was like, I got all the time in the world to figure this out. And so I had my mic. I made a little DIY studio in my bedroom, and I charged like $5. Have you heard the account Fiverr? It's a freelancing website. Fiverr with 2 R's, and I had the $5 for like 1,000 words to record. Girl, I charged the bare minimal because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm not going to charge nobody if I don't know what I'm doing. So I learned very fast, getting a lot of orders in. They're like, oh, I need this, and I started learning. And I really loved it. I was doing like vocal exercises, and like that really did take up pretty much my entire summer. I was doing voiceover day in and day out. So that was a cool learning experience. I got some encouragement from a couple of people that I know. Shout out to Cedric Williams. He was really helpful, and like, because he's like a voiceover like guru, like he's doing it in and every day. So getting his help was very grateful for that. So I did voiceover, and then in August, I decided it's safe enough. I think I'm going to start getting back on set. People were wearing masks all the time. I felt really secure about it. So, the industry never really stopped in California. I think it did stop that first 2 months because everyone was just like freaking out, like the world, like this is it. The world is ending, So I feel like people really did shut down for a bit, and then it picked up probably in the summertime, but I didn't touch it until I felt good about it. And so I started back mid-August, and that's when I got into doing Darman videos. I don't know if I would have ever done Darman videos on Facebook, but for this bridal opportunity, to play a young bride, and I was like, I got a wedding dress. Let me just, I think I can do this. And so I auditioned and I booked it. And ever since then, it's turned into regular work where they're just like, hey, like, we loved your work. We love your acting. We want you to come back for more. And I've just been saying yes. And it's been great because I've been meeting so many really cool actors and directors and DPs. And also gaining a following too, like people who love Darman videos. They're like, oh my God, you're amazing. Thank you. Oh my God, I love watching you. So it's like, I'm grateful for all those people who are, took the time to message me or thank me for my work. It really does make my day sometimes, because there's days I'm just like, what am I doing? Oh, you think I was you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, sometimes you need that validation to kind of get you on, keep pushing you along, because it gets hard. It's just like you're doing all this work, but like, where am I going? Is it gonna do anything? Is it gonna take me to the next level? But you got to remember, you're the one in control of that. You have to decide what are the next steps I need to be taking. And so I was training before COVID. I was training at Playhouse West, and so I started picking up my training again. I think that's I tell any actor, like, I probably have said it so many times tonight, but if you're gonna be an actor, you need to be training. Like, if you're not training, you're getting worse. It's kind of like the muscles. Like, if you're exercising, you're getting stronger, you're getting leaner, you're getting, you're toning up those muscles so they're available whenever you need to fight or flight. You got to be ready. Like, if someone jumps you, you hadn't been putting in the work or taking care of yourself, and that opportunity comes, what you gonna do? So I finally got back into training, because there was this one school that I'm training at now called Bear and Brown Studio, and I wanted to train with them sooner in the pandemic, but they didn't offer classes until August. And so I was thankful to get started again, and just flexing that muscle of vulnerability, flexing that muscle of just being connected and being really being present with each other. And so that's really been it's one of those like double-edged sword, where it's just like, it shows you how much farther you need to be going, but it also shows you how far you come when you keep doing the work. Because it's like, you're only going to get better if you keep training, you keep putting in the effort. So I encourage everybody, if you're not training, you can't expect to be on point whenever you get on set. It's just like, you're nervous. Like, I haven't done this in 6 months, but I think bear with me. I'm not really good at my lines because I haven't been memorizing. It's just like, no, like, you have to be sharp. You have to be sharp. You had to be professional. And you had to be able to let it all go. Like, let all the work that you've done for these roles go, and just be present with your partner. So yeah, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come natural. Like, saying, what we do as actors is so amazing, because it's just like, you're taking something that's not even yours. You're taking a whole life and scenario and situation, and you have to personalize it and make it something that you can really believe, really connect with the people who are watching it. So you have to first internalize it and make it real for you. And at the same time, you have to be so connected to your partner and not miss moments either. Like, earlier today, like, I wanted to stop and be like, girl, your eyes are tearing. You okay? Like, you crying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that, but I was just like, over in this meeting, I want to say something, but it's just like, you're so connected. You want to say something, but having that, like, awareness and just that transparency connected to that your partner, you need to have that presence, to really see them. So yeah. Were you okay, by the way? I was so scared. I was like, she's getting all teary-eyed. Yeah. I was like, I'm seeing her. Is she having like is she having a cough attack that she's not vocalizing? Like, what is happening?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that was COVID. Training.
You mentioned, so COVID did teach you a lot of things and a lot of realizations. I think a lot of people came to know themselves through self-care, self-development, and all of that. Some people started new businesses, but you started working on this huge platform.
Yeah.
Deals with Darman, girl. Like, when I first one, and then I came across the second one, and I was like, oh, she's doing this. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't know how big of a following he had. Like, he gets millions and billions of views on his videos. I was like everybody was like, every family and friends, people I didn't even talk to in years, like, Ayana, is this you? Ayana, oh my God. I was like, oh, like my sister, she's a teacher, and she has this like teacher group me, like a group chat, and she's like, Ayana, you're famous. Like all my colleagues are saying, sending their link around, like, watch Ayana, like watch Maya's little sister, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, like so crazy. So I'm grateful for the exposure. It's funny because like right when I realized that they were so big, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so self-conscious about my work every time I work with them now. But I was like, no, surprisingly enough, like, because I've been training and just focus so much on being present, I don't think about who's going to watch it. I just work on the role and what I want to bring to this. What do I want people to see and think and feel, whenever I do this role? Because it's not about them. It's about the moment, what's happening. And if someone connects to that, that's beautiful. But that's not your job. It's like, okay, I got to make this look good for all these millions of people that are going to watch me. No, that's probably the biggest mistake you can have, because you're not being in it. You're trying to play the result instead of what's really happening.
That's true. That is really true. Well, you do a phenomenal job making it. That's my girl. For real. Like, I showed it to my guy and he was like, this guy's a pretty big deal. She's working with him. Like, he's like a celebrity. He has like millions of viewers. And I was like, really? And then we lit that and I was like, oh, Ayana's doing it.
I was so surprised by that as well. I was like, wow, he's like, and here I was just trying to, act and get a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, today's the day that I get to act and have a good time and meet some cool people, have some good food, be safe, and get some money. And then boom, like all these people are like, oh my God, I love your work. Oh my God, it's just like, oh my God, like, it's so sweet. It's so sweet to be appreciated in that way. Like people will message me like, oh my gosh, you're one of my favorite Darman actors. Like, I had to find you and follow and support you. What other films are you doing? What other stuff are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, like that's some mad commitment and appreciation for the work that I'm doing. So
how did you get, well, maybe we shouldn't ask if you want to share how you got connected to that without giving away all
it was literally so all those acting networks and websites, or acting submission websites like LA Casting, Actors Access,
Backstage,
Casting Frontier. So it was literally an LA Casting notification. It was like, need a bride, for this role. I already had a veil for my wedding. I had a veil, and I had this shirt that looked like a bride dress, because I didn't want to wear my actual wedding dress, but I had this top that looked like it was like type of a silhouette, like it was like a gown. And they sent me a script, and I did the scenes, and they liked it. And like I said, that's literally all this. Every single time I self-tape is just like that. I find something that I can make it real for me, make strong choices, put it out in the world. And out of all the self-tapes I get, I don't more times than not, I don't hear anything back. It's just like either they liked it or they don't, or I just wasn't what they were looking for. I was what they were looking for. So it really is, it really is like gambling. It's just like, you just got to put in the work, do your time, and keep working from an honest place. And if they choose you, great. If they don't choose you, even better, because that means there's more time for you to keep working on your craft and get to where you need to be until you are. And like I said, people will choose you for all kinds of reasons or not choose you. Like, you got to remember, like, you might look like their ex, and they just like, I can't stand somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in this industry, there's no filter for people who say like, I'm going to choose her over her. And thankfully, this industry is changing to where the white man, the white writer, writes the world that they live in, which is predominantly white, or whatever the case may be, where this industry is evolving and having more inclusion, more people of color, more Black people, more Asian people, more Hispanic people. Like, it's just like, it doesn't have to be a white man that can be the lead. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be that way. And I'm thankful that this industry is changing and there's more inclusion and there's openness to, you don't have to be tall, blonde, and blue-eyed to be the love interest.
Would you say that has been your favorite role, or what has been your favorite body of work so far?
My favorite body of work. Oh gosh, there's a lot of good ones. I've had a lot of fun projects with Darman. But I feel like just lately, one of my favorites so far was I participated in the 48-hour film festival, Los Angeles 48-hour film festival. And that was really exhilarating. We had to shoot a project. It had to be edited and filmed all under 48 hours. And what was great about it is just like I had this role. It's called The Pilgrim, where I had to play this this follower of a leader who was what would you call it? Otherworldly. So they're essentially like an alien, but they came down to Earth to basically tell us to get back on track with how we need to have love and no violence, and we need to come together as nations under one planet. And so I had this very vulnerable role where it's just like my leader has fallen and I'm in this tailspin of despair and like playing all those real emotions of losing someone that I really care about, that I've looked up to pretty much my whole life, having them die in my hands, and what that's like to experience that, you know, in real time, take after take after take after take after take. So I feel like that was one of the more fun projects where it really stretched me, where I had to be present. I couldn't just, you know, I had to be real every time, you know. The community was just so amazing. Like everybody I worked with, it was just a great time. And at the end of the day too, I got to see it really fast because they had to submit it in like 24 hours after we filmed it. So I got to see in that moment just all the work that I had done that week prior to shooting, the payoff. It was just like, it's the rare instant gratification that we actors never get. You know, it's just like you put all this work in and then you don't have no idea what's going to happen. And then I saw it and I saw the work and I was like, dang, like this is what I love to do. Like it solidified, like this is why I'm an actor, because I loved it. I loved the choices, everything I was doing. I felt like it was read very clearly, and the director was very appreciative of my work and just loved how it all came together. And at the end of the day, it's like you have to feel that for yourself. You know, you have to feel like your value and your contributions are making a difference. And granted too, like also being like the only person of color on that set, like it was another thing too, where it's just like I could like hold it down, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, you know, it's not even necessarily about that, but being that person that's in there that's doing us justice, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, yeah.
Honest, I remember playing in a commercial, and the fact that I was like the lead in that commercial, and to know that like as a lead, then I had like a family there, but to know that as a Black woman, I was the highest paid cast on set, like that's huge.
Yes, and that needs to be the norm, because we're fully capable and fully like that role, like that needs to be normalized, because it was beautiful and I love to see that. I love to see you at the top because you deserved it and you killed it. Wait, which one was that again? That was the Anytime?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so it was the Anytime Fitness. Girl, you killed that. It was like all the choices you made were so funny and so like I could tell the fitness. Like my favorite part was when you were running and then you took the little stop and she's like, come on, all right, you know, and you got back up and started running again. It's just like the naturalness that came from you. It's just like, no one could do that like you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like no one could have had that type of, I don't know, just your energy, you know? And it's just like, yes, sister, yes. I loved it so much. So that was great. That's great. Normalizing that, making that where it's, you know, we can hold it down. We're fully capable. Yeah, it's just like, why now? Why not now? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, this is the time.
It's our time.
It's our time. Reclaim our time.
You know what I just learned about you? Okay, so look, I just came to this. I just had an epiphany.
Epiphany moment. Okay, I'm nervous. What did you just learn about me?
I just had this epiphany because I was like, she's such a great storyteller. And I think I find myself just being captivated by your story. And then it dawned on me, like, maybe that's why she thought I was going to cry before, because I think you were talking about the slave role. And when you tell the experiences of these roles, it sounds like we're living in that moment. And I'd be just
Aw. Well, thank you.
You present yourself, and not only are you a great actress, but you're also a great storyteller, and that's part of it. You really embody this work.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I think that's it's just one of those things. It's really infectious. It's just I don't know. I love what I get to do every day. If I get to do it every day, well, I guess I would say I do train every day. So I'm doing acting things. But being able to be on set and to showcase that's always a beautiful and unique experience in itself. And just also just doing a lot of self-reflection, just understanding the struggles that I'm going through, and to bring people along, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know, even before this interview, I was just there's a list of questions that we're probably going to go off of, or, we might go here and there and everywhere, but that's okay. I'd rather just be present. When you ask me the question, just that's where I'm at. I might be having a great time. I might be down low, not feeling well, but where I'm at, that's my truth. And whatever emotions or experiences or how I tell it, that's where I'm at right now,
I love it. I love that you just said that you do work every single day.
Absolutely.
What is that like? If you're not doing an audition, then how are you exercising the craft?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I do some journaling. That's another thing that I do. So I journal from my perspective, but then I'll try to journal just my different experiences from different characters that I'm going to be playing. So let's say I have 2 films that I'm shooting, one end of December and one that just got canceled. I was supposed to shoot last weekend and then this Sunday, but our cinematographer got COVID, and then the guy that the shoot prior, the location fell through because he could only have 5 people on location versus the original 8 he said we could have. And so both of those got canceled. But before then, I was journaling as that character, her experiences, what's that like for her, my character, she's overcoming alcoholism. She has this addiction to drink alcohol because her mother passed away from it. And so she's coping with that. So it's just today was another day where I just drank my heart out, and I couldn't stop thinking about her. She was on my mind, and I'm just journaling. I'm free writing as my character, as Jessie.
Wow.
And so doing stuff like that where I'm basically, and this is another thing I learned from school, where it's just you want that character to be in you as much as possible. So you're not playing another character. You are that character. You know what I'm saying? I also do I try to do some memorization, because my memorization, that's a skill in itself, being able to train and get a book. So I do a lot of memorization, some self-tapes here and there. And then I also, what I love to do, they're called castaways. It's something I learned in class, where it's you're basically making a confession to someone, or you're talking to someone, you're confronting somebody for the first time. So I'll do a lot of conversations, just building different life and scenarios. And so, for example, let's say in that same storyline, I actually did this the other day, where Jessie, my character, she was drinking alcohol, and in one of the scenes is where her best friend confronts her about it, you need to get checked, and so you need to calm down. And then so this is the first time she's said this to me, and I'm actually having a physical conversation with her. In the actual short film, this is that's the 5th time she does it, and I'm snapping at her. So I'm doing this castaway, this experience, where I'm just talking to her the first time, why would you say something like that? I'm fine. No, I don't have any issues with my mom. She's Like, I have it under control. Like, I don't drink that much every day. Like, no, I don't drink 5 times a day. Like, I've only drank 2. Like, what is your problem? Like, you know, I'm talking to her like that. Like, why are you on my back about this? Like, why are you making me feel this way? So by the time I get to the short film and she's confronting me again, it's like, I'm tired of you telling me I have a problem. Like, who do you think you are? So that all that escalation is real every time. I feel that every time she mentions something, I'm, you know, it's over. Like, I'm about to shut her down. You know what I'm saying? So doing stuff like that. I also have been, this is a new thing that I've been really trying to implement more, is daydreaming. As actors, we have to daydream. And you know how, like, you sleep at night and you have your real dreams? I don't remember any of my real dreams. But I'm trying to keep, I want to start tracking that. Like, what is my psyche telling me, you know, when I'm sleeping? But I've just recently learned the importance of daydreaming, because as actors, think about it. You get a script, you get a situation, you have to make strong choices. You have to be connected to those choices, but you have to go there. You know, you have to really embody what that feels like. So let's say you get a script that's like, okay, your mother is very sick and she's in the hospital, and this is her last day to live, and you're about to go walk up to her and say goodbye to her. So that's the scene. Before you even get to that scene, you want to daydream. Imagine you, for the first time, hearing the news that your mom has cancer. And oh my God, I'm about to start crying just thinking about it. But it's just like, you have to daydream that first moment where you lost your breath. And you're like, wait, mom has brain cancer? Like what? How long has she had brain cancer? She hasn't told anybody. She's had it for 2 years doing chemo silently, and she never told anybody. You're like, what? And you have to take that in. Like, mom's been sick and she didn't tell. Why did she not tell me? Like, she's like, I depend on her for everything, and she's so strong, but she needed someone and nobody was there for her. Like, so you have to daydream, really believing that, and really just allowing yourself to relax in that. Because the moment I was saying all this, I was like tensing up. He's like, no, like, breathe through that. Accept it. Accept the fact that she's dying, what that's going to do for you. Believe that. Let it sink in, and you'll just keep remembering specific moments. So maybe that was the first thing. And the second time you walked in on her and she's like, get out. I don't want you in here. Get out. Like, I don't want to see me like this. I'm like, I needed to fix something. You're like, what? And then it dawns on you, looking back, it's like, oh my gosh, she was doing her treatment and she didn't, you know, it's just like all these moments that you have to daydream in order to really realize what's going on. And then now it's like, I can't be crying. I can't be emotional when I walk in there. She needs to see me strong. So it's like, you have to contain all that and walk in as that strong daughter and tell her that you love her and that everything's going to be okay and that you're going to take care of the family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to do all that work. I'm just like, I didn't even this is clearly emotionalizing both of us. Whoa.
Wait a minute. I'm about to cry. The fact that you just shape-shifted like that, like, oh my God, like how you went from narrator to end the scene to narrating the scene to end it again. Like, you build it, like, take me with you the entire time. Like, you are so dang on good, friend.
Yeah, it's wow. And I'm grateful just for the training, because it's just like, I have to give my teachers credit. Like, I didn't think to do this. This isn't Ayana's magical wizardy connecting. Like, no, like, I'm a student. I'm training myself to be so connected. So even as I'm saying it, I feel that, and I'm empathizing. Like, people who actually lost family members, who have actually, through COVID, through cancer, or whatever. Like, it's like you have to really connect to it, and you have to allow yourself to connect, because that might hurt. And you don't want to, don't come with me with that, because I can't process that. But, you know, you have to sit chest out, be ready for that knife to come right there in your heart. You have to let it. It's like moving the shield and allowing it to really hit you. So that's what you train every day. That's what you do every day. Keep training yourself to have those deep scenarios where you're being pulled in and you're being connected and empathetic. And, so it can be your mother passing away. It can be your sister found out, her fiance, cheated on her, and they're about to get married tomorrow. What are you going to say to her fiance if you see him passing? What does that look like?
Elevator scene with Solange and Jay-Z.
Say it again. Oh, okay.
That's what I imagine.
To you to the end. Yes. Solange. Woo.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard you tell me how you get into a role. Mm-hmm. And as a standardized patient with the University of Minnesota, we play these really heavy roles, but then at the end we have to debrief. And one of the questions in that debrief is, how are you going to separate yourself from this role so that you can go into your day and not carry this into it? So how do you, because I see you get really into it, and even when you're not into it, you're into it. So how do you separate yourself so that you can go back home to your husband and be Ayana Taylor?
Yeah. I think the beauty in what we do in terms of this craft is, and when I say the beauty in it, I think more specifically the technique that I follow on, which is Meisner. Everything is imaginary. So even though like I'm thinking about my mother passing away or she's died in this reality, she's not dead in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I come to the reality that what I'm doing is all within my exploration of imagination. And so sinking back into that reality helps tremendously, but also, finding ways to separate yourself physically. So it's like, maybe you go and get some ice cream. Maybe you go and, call your mom because she's like the person that always gets you out of, when you're feeling down. She always knows exactly what to say to you. Maybe playing a game, doing something that brings you joy that can help lift you out of those roles. Because at the end of the day, like, because even though they're imaginary, they can feel so real in those moments. Or like if you had to play suicidal and you had to really get yourself to imagining like why you would want to give up your life. But when you think about it, it's like, what is really giving up your life looking like? Giving up your life means giving up. Like, I don't want to do this anymore because of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I'm going to end my life because of this scenario. So realizing like that can be real and that can really seep into your real life if you're having struggles with that. But, that's, I think I really love to journal too, because it's just like I can put my thoughts down on paper and it makes me feel like, what I went through, like I really allowed myself to go there and it was scary. But, I'm thankful for the training and the work because it tells me that my training is working. If I'm so connected and I feel like it's bleeding into my real life. But finding things that's joyful, that lifts you out and makes you like feel like dancing. Maybe you want to get up and turn your Fierce's Beyonce song on and you just dance for like a whole 5 minutes straight, just like having a good time. And one thing my teacher said, she said, where your attention goes, your energy flows.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a little, I feel like people say, oh, you have all these little quirks and like quotes and stuff. And I'm just like, whatever works for you. But like you can be, my attention can be like just now we were thinking about our mother dying in the hospital and we were all just like, oh my God. But then you start dancing like, oh, hey, this is my jam. It's like my attention's on this song now. I ain't crying no more, So it's like this way of like, put your focus on what's in front of you, what's ahead of you, what's your goal, what you're trying to do. So I say, be grateful for the work that you can put all of your attention on something that can really emotionalize you like that. That lets you know we're real, we're human, we're so connected to each other. You know, I'm connected to you. You're connected to me. I'm getting emotional, affecting you. You're getting emotional, affecting me. It's like we're these emotional creatures by nature, but it's just allowing yourself to just, step into that, really believe it, and work from that place, because it's vulnerable. Like I said, it's not fun to be wearing your heart on your sleeve like that. People can slap it around, bump into it, accidentally poke it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, But like I said, having those outlets, finding those ways that go to. My favorite ice cream is chocolate, cookies and cream. I'm gonna go get me a whole tub, or if you want to find a healthier version, I like to go exercise. Playing tennis is like one of my favorite hobbies. I'll go on the tennis court, just play around, to lighten up the mood. So it really all about finding those things that kind of help you anchor out of that, because you were anchored in. I could tell you're anchored in, and you had to find those outlets to get you out.
Good. Is there anyone or anything that you go to for inspiration? Like, do you have any idols that you look up to in this industry?
Yeah, I love Viola Davis. I think she's a true testament to doing this career because you love it. Because before she was ever successful with How to Get Away with Murder, with any of these larger roles, I see her on other movies. She was just, a social worker, the receptionist. I think of Octavia Spencer, who was, she played nurse roles, minimal nurse roles, small nurse roles, never considered for more, but they did it because they love it. Viola was acting a long time before stardom struck her. You know what I'm saying? And even if stardom never struck her, she probably still been doing it. And so she's someone I definitely look up to. Just like she's a perfect example of the type of sensitivity and vulnerability that you need to have or should have when confronted with, life scenarios. Like I loved her in Fences when, Denzel's character basically said, I'm having a baby with another woman. Because I don't feel happy in this house. I don't feel like I can be myself. I feel like I'm just a provider in this house. And she's like, you don't think I wanted more out of this life?
Right.
You think I wanted to just stay here and be what you wanted me to be? Like that betrayal. It's like I stayed faithful to you for years. You know what I'm saying? Like that vulnerability that she had, and to confront him and to just have it all on her sleeve. It's beautiful.
That is true.
Yeah. I think it's just so imperative just to be sensitive to everything, every little moment. And I feel like she's so raw and open with that. She's so captivating too. You can't help but look. You can't look away from her either.
Yeah. She bears it all. She bears it all. The way that she's just willing to take off her wig, like that comfort blanket that we live underneath, and share those prison braids, and to that you can't help but respect her.
Yeah. She's definitely groundbreaking. She's trend setting. She's opening doors for all of us. She really is.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for her, and all the strong, confident, vulnerable women who are in this industry. Because I don't know, and I keep saying vulnerable, and I know that's a negative connotation. Oh, you're too vulnerable. Oh, vulnerable is like vulnerability is weakness, and I think if anything, I think it's strength. Being vulnerable is a strength. Because who does that every day? We fight so much to keep everything in and to act like everything's okay and to hold it all in, but to actually say I'm hurting and I feel like there's nobody around that can help me.
Yeah.
That's strength.
That is. That brings me to my last and final question, and that is, what would you tell younger Ayana who didn't know where she wanted to be or where she wanted to go, or maybe had a completely different trajectory for your life?
Yeah, if I could look at if I could meet little Ayana, like just come into her path at some point in life, yeah, I would just simply tell her like, wow. I feel like I would tell her that she matters. Like, I know that's simple and it feels corny, but it's just like, I feel like where I was and who I was trying to be, you know, I didn't feel like I was enough. So it's just like, you matter, you're enough. I feel like I grew up trying to be somebody, you know, trying to be somebody instead of accepting who I am. Yeah.
That is so real. That I didn't expect like that. I didn't expect that vulnerability that you shared. Like, that was so raw. That was so real. Like, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we were able to sit down and catch up and talk life and this career and this pursuit and be real, you know, about the struggle of it all, because it's not all that glitters isn't gold, you know.
That part. Did
you say tap heart?
I said that part.
Oh,
you know, like, period, poo.
Okay. I literally was thinking like the Instagram, like you're like double tapping, like tap heart.
I was like that my sister says to me. She'd be like, I say something to her, she'd be like, that part.
Oh, okay. See, that also lets me know how old I'm getting, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing. Like, somebody messaged me saying, oh my God, you're on my FYP for a reaction video. And I was like, what in the world is FYP?
What is that?
You know what that is? You know, okay, we're old. We're both old. So that's a TikTok thing.
I'm 29 and 5.
Hey, I'm okay with it. I've embraced it. I'm just saying I'm feeling old because all this lingo is happening that I don't even know about anymore. But FYP is basically on TikTok, where it's like for your page. I guess like it's a main page of some sort. I'm not on TikTok. Maybe I should be, but it's your for you page, FYP. So yeah. But yeah, that part. Okay, I get it.
You're so dope. You're so dope. Well, this has been a moment in purpose with my friend, my sister. I'm going to say iconic Ayana Taylor, award-winning, Grammy-winning, Oscar-winning.
Hey, bro, claim it.
Ayana Taylor, you know, continue to follow her, continue to support her. Do you want to tell everyone where they can follow you and catch you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at _ my whole name, AYANA TAYLOR with another underscore. That's the same for Instagram and Twitter. I have a YouTube channel that you can follow me. It's just my name. So youtube.com/C/Ayana Taylor. And then also, if you're looking for voiceover work, you can find me on Fiverr, and I have my rates and stuff on there if you're interested. I recently upped them because, you know, I had to be paid my worth, you know what I'm saying? Especially after that last incident. That part. And then lastly, I'm on Facebook. You can follow me on my Facebook page, Ayana Taylor _actor/model. So I have a little fan page there where I post a lot of my acting stuff, and I actually post more of my actual like videos and films that I've been on my Facebook than I do more on my Instagram. So if you want to see more content, definitely follow my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, because that's where I kind of post more of the videos, because I feel like Instagram is more photogenic-y, so it's like more of the pictures than it is video. Yeah, that's where you guys can find me. Thank you guys so much for supporting this beautiful, lovely sunshine superstar in the making. Like, just thank you for supporting her and supporting, you know, just supporting strong Black women who are just trying to, you know, be successful. And I mean, we already are successful, you know, just with everything that we're doing. But the fact that you guys are supporting and helping and watching and appreciating our work, we are forever, forever grateful. So thank you so much.
Yes. And please write in the comments if you have any further questions for Ayana. If you want to know how to reach her, how to find her environment, let us know and we can get you connected. So yes, this has been a moment in purpose. with Ayana Taylor. Always remember to stop living to exist. Start living on purpose, and you can do all that and more with News on Purpose.
Yes.
Have
Yes. That part. That part. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.
If you enjoyed this week's episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay centered on all Indie Center podcast episodes. If you are an independent creator and have a story to share and want to have a sit down, please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. That's indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. If you have sponsorship inquiries, I'd love to help local businesses. Please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. Until next Monday, guys. Peace.